Joining me via Skype, a digital strategist, Mercy George Igbafe. She joins me via Skype in Lagos for the discussion. And I also have joining me from Abuja studio is a senior economist with SPM Professionals, Paul Alaji. They both join me now to look at all of these issues, the economic and the technological aspect of it. Now, let me start with you, Mercy. What do you think will be the impact of COVID-19 on the entire digital world at this time? How do you see that?
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate for today. What I'd like to say, the impact for many businesses is, remember the last time I was on the show, I talked about the statistics. Out of every 10 businesses, only one survived the 2-year benchmark. However, what I would say is this. What is going to happen to a lot of businesses that are not digitally ready? Many businesses are already operating remotely to do a lot of jobs. Many people will be out of work, especially those that are not skilled and ready for today. Because now the way business is operational is going to definitely change. So things are definitely going to take a different trajectory. It's not going to be any more business as usual, and that's what Lento does. Create strategies that can help businesses scale. And this is very important for those that have not actually prepared themselves, leveraging tools that are going to help them, preparing their staff. You can't say you're going to work now, you're not adding any value to the business. There is no hiding place. And that's why I love the pillar of Scrum. It talks purely on transparency, adaptation, and how you can be able to evolve. You test, you try, it doesn't work, you drop. You test, you try, it doesn't work, you work. You test it again. And that's why it's important. If you're not digitally savvy in 2020, you're going to struggle. And COVID has made it much more real. You can see the streets of Italy empty, but people are working from home. Those that were prepared for today, people are already working remotely. And that's why digital skills cannot be overly emphasized. So COVID is going to affect businesses greatly, especially those that were not ready for digital space.
Churches came online for their service, and people had to join online to take advantage of this. What do you think about service providers at this time? What could be their challenges at this time? Because many people will now have to maybe shift towards going online to get whatever service they want delivered. Mercy, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I thought you were speaking to the second
No, I'm talking to you. The question is for you.
Oh, yes. What is just going to happen is this. The reality is already here. The reality for many businesses, and with regards to network provider, if you're not leveraging digital, many people are idle. So this is the best time. And when they are idle, they are online. They are consuming videos, they are consuming content. But if your business is not in their eye to catch their attention, when you're ready to launch, you would have missed that opportunity because you did not create a strategy in place to be able to maximize the potential of users engaging with your content or engaging with your product. So a digital strategy would have helped, but it's not even late. So what kind of content can you start sending out? Because the number of people online now has quadrupled. And that's the report that just came out recently. So many people are online now because there's nothing to do. There's nowhere to go. They are locked up in the house. So many people are probably not talking to themselves. So this is the best time. Social distancing is being maximized now, but you can socially connect with people and your business can be in their face. Don't go hunky-dory, you're on holiday. You're not on holiday. This is the time to start innovating and bringing creativity to fore. Okay, how am I going to evolve my business? How am I going to innovate my processes? What structures have I put in place? Okay, you as a receptionist, are you still going to have a job? You as a secretary, are you going to have a job? Okay, the data is going to play a role now. This is where the companies are going to make a kill because a lot of people are going to say, I don't have money, but you're going to spend that money on data, consuming videos, consuming content, and which is very, very critical. So that is why it's important as a business, start positioning yourself. How can you create strategies that would work for you to be in the eyes of your users, your customers? How can you retain your customers, existing customers? What can you do for them to know you are still here, or you're not going out of business? So it's very, very important for businesses to start evolving and leveraging this as system of COVID-19 and start maximizing it to your own advantage. So don't just say, oh, I'm on holiday, and you're just there watching videos, watching entertainment. You're not developing your business. You're not putting strategies in place, because you're going to say, yes, the network providers are expensive, but you're going to still burn data. So why don't you use that data productively? Why don't you start engaging your team strategically to start positioning themselves? Are you going to start calling your customers? What structures have you put in place? So it's very, very key. As much as it's expensive in Africa, but we still can leverage those platforms to be able to scale our businesses when this whole pandemic is over.
It sounds very interesting. Mercy, Mercy, I'm still talking to you right now while I start to connect with my other guest from Abuja, Paul Alaji. Now, Mercy, it looks very interesting. We're talking of 4G. At the time, we're talking about 5G, and challenges are now popping up. Infrastructure, power is one thing we also face in this part of the world, 4,500 megawatts for 200 million people. Now, putting all of this side by side, tell us, how has it been in that line of business? What are other challenges entrepreneurs in that sector, what do you think they face, and how can they overcome it?
I am one of them. So I
yes,
can
I know.
tell you, being an entrepreneur in Africa, it's actually a very tough one. And the fact that we don't have a choice. I must succeed. But the benefit for me, where I actually stand out from a lot of other entrepreneurs, is I understand how to leverage digital platforms. I have put strategies in place to continually help me be in the eye of my customers. So I do understand that there are challenges, but I like people not to focus on the challenge. If the door is blocking you, the door would not open. You knock the door, okay? So we are all, I mean, the report that came out recently is 94% penetration of mobile devices in Africa. So which means even if you're not spending heavy on video content, you have your WhatsApp. Even if you're not using WhatsApp, you have your Instagram. But it's important for you to have had a strategy in place for you to be able to push those content.
Okay.
Because remember, it's Churchill here now.
Okay, Mercy, let me hold your thoughts. I'll get back to you in just 2 minutes. Let me talk to Paul now. Paul, it's great to have you join us in the discussion at this time. I'm going to take you straight to the resolutions. An MPC meeting just being rounded up, and the central bank governor has come out to say the committee retains all rates. Everything remains the same, maintain status quo. How does that come to you?
Well, it's not so much of surprise. It's expected, because if you reduce NPR at this time, the few foreign investors you have may take a decision to withdraw some of their funds, which of course will mean we are jumping from fry pan to fire. So retaining rates, it's a bit not surprising. I was expecting Central Monetary Policy Committee to review CRR from 27.5% to perhaps the previous 22.5%. That was the only thing I thought the authorities would adjust. But to have kept CRR at the rate it was, which is 13.5%, and retain the same rate, I think it's something that of course we're expecting regarding the outbreak, because of the outbreak of COVID-19.
Paul, it's really worrisome at this time. You're suggesting bringing back the CRR to 22.5%. But looking at the fundamentals globally, which is beyond what we can control in this part of the world, did you see the CBN having any option than maintaining status quo?
Well, we check what central banks have done around the globe. They've reduced lending rate. Nigeria Central Bank have reduced lending rate for its own loans too. Many of them have also adjusted their monetary policy rate. Monetary policy rate in America is almost close to zero, but Nigeria have refused to, because we are not faced with the same economic dynamics. Many countries of the world also have a bit better CRR, Nigeria is currently at 27.5%. So when you look at all of these figures, it's not that CBN or Monetary Policy Committee have done badly. We are in a very, very difficult moment. The world is better than the situation we find ourselves now, because there is a high level of uncertainty, and for maybe Monetary Policy Committee not to adjust a rate that may later give a result that they are not desiring. That could be a reason why for the next 2 months they just want to sit on the fence to see what the result will look like.
Paul, would you say the monetary side and the fiscal side at this time are really in tandem? Is that synergy? What will you say? What's your comment about the synergy between both parties?
Well, I don't think monetary harm and fiscal harm are communicating enough, because what you see, when you see what monetary authority have done, as represented by central bank in this case, it has reduced lending rate of central bank hold facility from 9% to 5% in order to boost liquidity in system. That's on one hand. It's also come up with over 100 billion stimulus package for several sectors, namely agriculture, health, and so many other sectors that might have been affected directly by COVID-19. What we've seen from fiscal harm is to reduce pump price, perhaps as stated in the budget, from 145 to 125 as the case may be. But what we need more is for fiscal authority to respond to it through what we call fiscal adjustment. And fiscal adjustment will come in several ways, among which, of course, will be what will be the hope of civil servants in the next 3 months if COVID-19 is not curtailed, not just in Nigeria, but around the globe. Recall that the president of the US, when he was faced with the same question of what would be his response to the end of COVID-19, he said, well, the earliest period he could see will be August this year. And if it's August this year, and global prices do not rise beyond $30 per barrel or $40 per barrel, I'm afraid many states in Nigeria, we have huge difficulty in paying back, in paying salaries. As I speak to you, we have states that are owing 900% of IGR as debt service. We have some who are owing as high as 400, 300, as the case may be. So we have about 10 to 11 states who may survive it after 3 to 4 months with the current figures we're having. You see, the Monetary Authority has also responded, particularly Central Bank, by trying to converge the exchange rate from 305, 306 to what we have currently. So we see a monetary doing quite so much, but we need more from fiscal authority. Perhaps most businesses, for them to survive, we may need to review tax rates so that they will not be badly affected this year, 2020.
Okay, let me ask Mercy now. Mercy, you know, we're talking on the digital aspect. A lot of money, even by the central bank, to develop the ICT sector, looking at the proceeds that would come from this sector. We're talking about the challenges before I went to Abuja to speak to Paul. Now, tell me, how well are you guys accessing this fund briefly as we round up the discussion? Mercy, the question is for you.
I really love the question. And by the way, thank you. Paul is really a numbers person while I'm a digital person. Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Go ahead,
Okay,
Mercy.
so
tell us about these interventions in your sector.
what I would like to say basically is this, with regards to access to the funds. And I love what CBN has done. I really give them credit, because now they force the banks to make loans available to small entrepreneurs like myself. But it's not as if the money is still really readily accessible to them without them going through the eye of the needle. The money is there. There are still a lot of charges. But in terms of, as an entrepreneur, speaking with regards to myself and the challenges facing us in terms of accessing this fund, I won't say it's a lot, because if you look at it in the scale of preference, I mean, if you remember the Maslow hierarchy of needs, right now, it's quite scary that President Trump said that it's by August that this COVID thing would subside. I see that stretching to that far, but it's going to be really tough for a lot of entrepreneurs. So for me, I would like to say, as much as the banks is giving out loans, make sure those loans are going to be able to, those entrepreneurs are able to pay back. Because it's not enough to create solutions. Identify what the problems are, number one. Make sure you look for strategic partners so that you don't have to struggle. Because at the end of the day, to try to reinvent the wheel of what has already been done by someone, it's going to take you a longer journey. So there are money in the system that is available to entrepreneurs. It's not readily easy for you to access those funds because they still require certain amounts of requirement that you're still going to have to scale through as an entrepreneur, especially for those that are in the service business like myself. So I don't have a product. It's not as if I have this for me to be able to use, to be able to exchange as a collateral for the loan. So these things revised properly. Thank you for the opportunity.
I know, Mercy, George Igbafe, digital strategist there, and also my senior economist, SPM professionals, that's Mr. Paul Alaje live from Abuja there. Thank you, gentlemen and ladies, for joining us on the show today. I hope you're maintaining social distance everywhere you are. I wish you all the best.